friends. I'm Kim from Live Early On, and today we will be making rainbow pasta. So this recipe is another great recipe for you to do at home with your little one. So let's get started. So before we begin, we have to clean our counter or our table. Today I'm going to be cooking and prepping all the food here. So I'm going to make sure it's nice and clean first. Grab my countertop tablecloth and clean. Your little one can help you with this part. They love helping you clean, and I'm pretty sure most of my friends love playing with water, so it's just nice, clean. And now we're gonna wash our hands, make them nice and clean. So for today, I am going to get all my friends to count to 20 with me. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's wash our hands. Rinse off all the soap, my friends. Make sure you get all of it off. All right. I'm going to dry my hands and then we are ready to start. Okay, so I have on the stove here some pasta that's been boiling for a few minutes. I used this, some penne pasta, but you can use whatever pasta that you have at home, and I'm just following the box's direction. So, while that cooks, we are going to make the sauce that goes with it. You can use tomato sauce if that's what you want, if that's what your little one wants. But for today, we are going to make a olive oil based sauce that will go with it. In here, I have 1 garlic that I've already minced up, but if you have garlic powder as well, then that's okay. And then I'm going to put in about 2 spoons of olive oil. Now adjust this recipe however you want. So I have some peppers, a little bit of salt, so a couple of pinches. And because my family really likes garlic, I'm going to be using garlic and herbs. But if you have, oops, that's too much, parsley or oregano, then you can go ahead and add that in there too. Because I accidentally dumped in a lot of the garlic and herb, I'm just going to put in 1 more tablespoon, just so that it's not too salty. But your little one can help you with this portion as well because there's no heat involved. But yeah, so cooking is a great way to involve your little one, especially if they are a picky eater. So normally it's quite normal to have your little one be picky eaters, especially around the toddler age, just because they are starting to gain their independence. And a lot of the times picky eating is because they are looking for some power or control over what they do, or in this case, what they put into their bodies. So it's power control thing. So trying to help your little one develop healthy eating habits is quite anxious inducing, especially if you have a very, very picky eater and you're concerned about their nutrition and their nutritional intake. Sometimes too though, picky eating is because they just want to feed themselves. So a quick fix for that is if you can provide food that they can just pick up and eat themselves, or if they still don't have that hand-eye coordination to have spoon to mouth, you can give them a spoon to hold while they are eating, and then you can go ahead and try to feed them as well. So that's just a quick, simple fix. Obviously, if you're trying to develop a new habit, it does take time. They say it takes about 20 days to develop a new habit. So if you see after a couple days or even a week and nothing's really changing, don't give up just yet, because it does take a little bit of time. Also, if you're exposing your little one to new food, they say it takes about 10 to 15 exposures for your little one to actually even try it or see if they like it or not. So, and exposure doesn't mean that they're eating it, but exposure could also mean that they see you eating it or you guys talk about it. So it does take a little while. So my pasta is done. So obviously your little one can't help you with this part because it is very, very hot. But look, my friends, look at the steam. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's so much steam coming off of it. So I am going to drain the water. Ooh, my glasses are fogging up. So I'm gonna drain the pasta. Oh, see, do you guys see all that steam? I'm gonna put it back in here, and then use this so now that the water is steamed out, I am going to add this into our pasta. And if you need to make more after we put our vegetables, then by all means add more. But this is to start. So, ooh, it smells so good, guys, with the garlic and the herbs. Yeah, I ran out of herbs, but I know what, I might just go out to the garden and grab some after, but make sure that all the pasta gets a nice even coating. Oh, I dropped one. Make sure they're all evenly coated. If you have an older child, then they can help you with this part. But if they're younger, then maybe not, because the pot is very hot to touch. If they accidentally touch it, they might burn themselves. But okay, so the pasta is all evenly coated. I'm gonna put this aside, let it cool. Put all this away, and we are going to wash all of our vegetables. All right, so in my fridge I took out some mozzarella cheese. If you have fresh mozzarella cheese, even better, but this is all I have in my fridge today, so we're going to be using that. Also, what I took out were the vegetables that I need to wash and prep. So let's look at what I have today, my friends. I have broccoli, red onion, carrot, I have in here some leftover yellow pepper from last night, and a cherry tomato. So go ahead and use whatever vegetables you have in your fridge or freezer. I normally also like to put corn in it as well, some kale or spinach if you cook it up a little bit. And then also too, if you're looking for some extra protein, then you can go ahead and add whatever meat that you want, or chickpeas or beans, tofu, all that fun stuff. But like I mentioned before, having your little one help you prep the meal is great if you have a picky eater at home, because like I said, it's all about power and control. So if they can control what they put into the pasta, then they are more likely to eat everything that is on their plate. So use whatever you have at home, and then if you give your little one a few options, then they can choose what they want to put in there, or if they want to put all of it. Also, a great way to try to get them to try new vegetables is if you include vegetables that they've already eaten and liked. If they love pasta, it's a great way to introduce vegetables, because you can just throw it in to the pasta like we are today. Also, some other ways to deal with picky eaters is to set realistic expectations. Like I mentioned before, you do have to expose your children about 10 to 15 times for new food before they're sure if they even like it or not. So within those 10 to 15 times, they might not even try it. So you gotta keep going. Also, they're not gonna eat a lot. They have smaller stomachs. So if they stop eating, it's because they're not hungry anymore. Don't make separate meals. It gives them a reason to not try. If they don't want to eat something, you're gonna feed them anyways. So make sure you make something that everyone eats together. Also, a lot of times meals are a very social thing. So if they see everyone else eating it, they're more inclined to eat it after a little while. Involve the children in meal prep, like I mentioned before, but also cooking is a very sensory type of thing. So if they get to experience, they get to see, they get to smell, then they're more inclined to eat as well. Also, as you're meal prepping, keep in mind your children's food sensitivities. So, for example, if they don't like mushy food, like I personally don't, instead of giving them applesauce, give them apple. Or if you do want them to try mushy food, you can incorporate crunchy food that they do like into it. A good example of this is oatmeal. Hot oatmeal is quite mushy in texture, but if you add Cheerios into it, fruit, then it's not as mushy, then it's a little bit more tolerable. So those are just some ways you can try to combat picky eating. But I'm gonna go ahead, wash and cut all of these vegetables, and then we will assemble. Alright, so I washed and prepped all of my vegetables. My friends, let's see what vegetables I have on the plate, because I did find a couple extra ones. I cut up my yellow pepper. I cooked and steamed my broccoli. I cut up some of the cherry tomatoes. I found in my freezer frozen green peas and corns that I defrosted. And then I shredded up some carrots. I also cut up into little tiny pieces our purple onion. These, we're eating them raw today, but if you want, you can cook them a little bit to get it a little bit sweeter. And then as for the carrots, if you don't want to shred them up, then you can just cut them into little tiny chunks. If you have older children helping you cook, if you get a butter knife, they can help you cut the yellow peppers or red peppers because they are a little bit softer. As for our younger ones, they can help you rip up the broccoli before you steam or boil them. A quick little hack that I do is that I boil water. I put the broccoli, the raw broccoli, in a bowl and then pour the hot water on top. Put a cover on it, let it sit for a few minutes, and then it comes out perfectly steamed. I also cut up some of the mozzarella, and the reason I cut it up like this is because your little one can help you rip up the mozzarella into small chunks and put it in there. Because I had the brick mozzarella cheese, this was just easier for them to cut up. If you have fresh mozzarella cheese, then it's super soft, so you don't need to cut it up beforehand. I also made extra sauce here to put on top again after we put all of our vegetables. So let's start assembling. I think I'm gonna start with our yellow vegetable. What's our yellow vegetable called again? That's right, it's yellow pepper. So let's put our yellow pepper in. You and your little one can decorate it if you want. I know I used to try to make faces out of the vegetables. So, but I am just throwing it in there. All right. Next, I think I am going to go for red. Is this our red vegetable? No, this is orange. Is this our red vegetable? That's right, it is. It's our red cherry tomatoes. Look how round they are. And look, there's a whole bunch of seeds in them when you cut them in half. Isn't that cool? Alright. Put that in there. Again, make sure our hands are nice and clean when you're doing this part. I know every time I cook, I wash my hands quite a number of times after I do every step, just so our food is nice when we eat it. Okay. I think this time I'm gonna throw in our green vegetable that looks like a tree. Which green vegetable looks like a tree? Is it the peas? No, they're very circular, aren't they? But what about the broccoli? The broccoli looks like trees, don't they? So, let's throw that in there. If you want, you can eat this pasta cold or hot. So if you are cooking this during the summer, or it just happens to be hot wherever you are, then you can go ahead and just chill it for about 10-15 minutes and it is good to go. Alright, so next I think I'm gonna throw in our green peas and yellow corn. We have quite a few. Just sprinkle on top. And look how colorful our pasta is starting to look. And we haven't even tossed it yet. Alright. And now we have purple onions and orange carrots left. Which one should we put in first? I'm going to put the carrots in first. They're nice and shredded. If you don't have like a mandolin or a shredder, I also like to use a vegetable peeler. Once you've peeled off the skin, the outside skin, and then you can start making like nice ribbons out of them too. And last but not least, our onions. Just gonna throw everything on there. Okay. So let's mix it up. If you have a big enough bowl, your little one can try to help you mix it up. It's it's most likely gonna be messy and food's gonna go everywhere, but that's the beauty of cooking. So we're gonna mix it up, mix, mix, mix. I have a huge bowl of pasta. If food goes onto the table or on the floor, that's okay, because we're gonna have to clean up after anyways. And our little ones always love to help cleaning. So now the cheese. So you and your little one, you're just gonna rip the cheese into tiny little pieces and just sprinkle it on there. Depending on how much or how little you and your family love cheese, you can add as much or as little as you want. And I know for those that are lactose intolerant, there are the vegan cheese out there, or you can just not put in the cheese altogether. This, again, everything that you put in here is whatever you have in your fridge. This is great to use if you want to get rid of leftovers, if you have leftover chicken, you can shred it up, put it in there, whatever vegetables that you didn't end up using the day before. So rip it up nice and small. If you're eating it hot, then the cheese will start to melt a little bit. If you're eating it cold, then it'll stay nice and shredded. So once you do that, once you add all your cheese in there, go ahead and pour in the rest of the oil that you made. Again, if you're using tomato sauce, then just pour some of the hot sauce all over it. So I'm gonna mix it up. I'm just adding a little bit more, and again, because we love garlic here, I just added a little bit more garlic as well. But so get all of that in there. You can. This is also great if you use pesto sauce as well. If you don't have tomato sauce and you don't want to really make this one, you can use pesto sauce. You can make it yourself, or you can get it from the store, which is what I usually do. But look at all of the colors, my friends. Look at that. What colors do we see? Let's see. Can you guys help me find the colors at home? Make sure everything's nice and coated. Let's see. I see green. I see yellow. I see white. I see orange and red. Okay, my friends, this is done, and I'm spilling it everywhere. All right, my friends, so look at how beautiful our pasta turned out. If you guys make it at home, please let me know how it turned out. Take pictures if you want to share it with us, or leave a comment what you guys put into your rainbow pasta. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.